Hi guys, just having a look here at a bit of planning for this 2785 spreadsheet unit. Now I hope this particular recording works. I've tried 3 times to get something that's of a reasonable resolution for you guys to look at on screen. So hopefully this one will work. Now this is the document, guys, that I'll show you where you can open yourself a little bit later, but let me just quickly go through the requirements. Now these are pretty similar to what you've already seen previously on the 2787 unit, the database one. Okay, now to go through this reasonably quickly, okay, you need to have a separate sheet for each spreadsheet, but at the top of the first one you can have any requirements that might be the same for both spreadsheets. For example, both spreadsheets need to be part of one file, have current date near the top of the spreadsheets, could be something which is similar to both. Next heading, then the first spreadsheet, then purpose. So you need to have a purpose statement. All right, so I'm not going to read through that for you. You can read that for yourself, and you need to have a purpose statement, a clear purpose of the first spreadsheet. Okay, the target users is next, and make sure you've got that heading. Who is going to use the spreadsheet? Not who it's about, but who is going to use it. So for example, management or lending staff or office staff or something like that. Next, requirements. Now this is your biggest section. Put in here everything that's mentioned in the assessment in detail. So for example, review period might be at the top of the spreadsheet. Current date might be at the top of the spreadsheet. Show the data is supplied, interest rate, where that needs to go, what extra columns you need to put in or create. If, for example, you have to use an absolute cell reference to calculate maybe an interest rate or the contract date or the cutoff date or something like that, what charts need to be created in detail, what macro needs to be created, not how you create it, but what macro must be created. The fact that a template has to be created and saved so the spreadsheet can be reused. That must be part of your one, because that's definitely a requirement for all the spreadsheets. Okay, what averages, sums, maximum or minimums need to be put on your spreadsheet in some detail. Okay, and the fact that they need to be put in an appropriate place on the spreadsheet for easy reference. So this in detail, please. Okay, now the layout plan and formatting. Okay, let me just jump to the layout plan. You should have a separate sheet showing the layout of the headings in the formula. Now, if you've put the formatting on that, here under formatting, you could say see separate sheet showing layout, formulae, and formatting. But I would recommend you still put in the section here any general formatting that's required. For example, money formatted for currency. Use appropriate formatting so the spreadsheet's easy to read and will be printed on one A4 landscape page. And you can read the rest of that. Now, I would recommend you have something like that in here, as well as putting formatting information on the layout plan. Now, the evaluation procedures, these are the things that you're going to do to check your spreadsheet. Make sure that you actually do them, because I will be looking for evidence of this and will not be impressed if you hand me work in and these things have not been done. So check for a start that all parts of the spreadsheet as planned have been completed. That should be have rather than has. What requirements? What parts of the plan? All of these requirements, okay, that are here, all must have been done. Okay, make sure that you go back to the assessment document and check that all parts have been completed. This part I expect to see evidence of, the data being checked and ticked off. I also expect to see that for the formulas. So any formulas should be checked where possible with a calculator, and if it's something like PMT or NPER or FV, you can't check that with a calculator, but you do need to check over the formulas on your printout that shows the formulas and tick those off to tell me that you've checked them. Okay, and you should actually make sure that you do that. Don't just tick it off. Check that the formula looks right and is giving what you think are sensible results. Okay, you need to check that the spreadsheet's readable. Okay, no parts are cut off. Okay, and legible. You're using a sensible font and is well presented. Okay, now you need to do that for both spreadsheets. So this is a bit of a rough template for the second one. Now at the end of those two planning sheets, you need to have a final statement, something like this, that you are stating that you've checked the data is accurate, okay, and you've ticked the data off. You should also mention that you have checked the formulas, okay, something like I have also checked all the formulae or formulas, and this is shown by ticking them off on my formula printout, outs plural. Okay, so something like that. Okay, now you also need to state that the spreadsheet's legible. Now legible is to do with the font, so make sure you're using a sensible font and put in here what font you are using. It's probably not Arial. Okay, that it's readable, making sure that no parts are cut off, and get a classmate to read over your spreadsheet and check it and put their name in here. I have asked whoever to read over my spreadsheet and he's confirmed that it's readable. Get somebody who can actually read properly to do that for you. Okay, and you check that it's presented, that it looks good, and you've made it sensible, good looking spreadsheet. Okay, so that's the two planning sheets and that statement. Then you need to have a end user document for both spreadsheets, one for each. Okay, so up here, what is the purpose of this spreadsheet? So this is the purpose here. How to open it. Okay, so how to open the spreadsheet. What is the path to the template? Okay, I'm interested in the template here. How to use the template. Essentially, you double click on the template, it'll open a new document, which will be an XLS spreadsheet, and that's the one that you make changes to and save, not the actual template itself. Okay, for data entry, two sections here. The first section, what data is entered and where. Now this is the data, not the formulas. So what cells need to have particular data in them, like interest rates or the review period, or which columns need to have data entered into them, like names or dates or terms, the amount borrowed, the number of payments per year, for example. Now down here, this is the second part of this, but don't mix these two up. Here, what does the spreadsheet calculate? So this is where the spreadsheet has got formulas. So what is being calculated by the spreadsheet? Don't put things that are being calculated in this part up here where you enter the data or the user does. These are the things that the spreadsheet calculates. Okay, what chart is available and a little description of it. How to run the macro, not how to make it. I'll repeat that, not how to make it, but how to run it. How to save the spreadsheet and how to close it. And then that is repeated for the second spreadsheet as well. Okay guys, that's it basically. So good luck with that. I may also be getting you to put in the milestones back here on this planning sheet, but I'll confirm that with you if that's a requirement. I just need to double check on that aspect only. Okay, so get the rest of this done anyway, and I'll come back to you about the milestones thing. Okay, good luck. See you in class.